and Hyde, born on March 12, 1637, died on March 31, 1671, was the first wife of James, Duke of York, who later became King James II and VII, and was the daughter of a member of the English gentry, Edward Hyde, later created Earl of Clarendon, and met her future husband when they were both living in exile in the Netherlands. She married James in 1660 and 2 months later gave birth to the couple's first child, who had been conceived out of wedlock. Some observers disapproved of the marriage, but James's brother, King Charles II of England, wanted the marriage to take place. Another cause of disapproval was the public affection James showed toward Anne. They had 8 children, of whom 6 died in early childhood. The 2 who reached adulthood were future monarchs, Mary II and Anne. James was a known philanderer who kept many mistresses, for which Anne often reproached him, and he fathered many illegitimate children. Originally an Anglican, Anne converted to Catholicism soon after her marriage to James. She had been exposed to Catholicism during visits to the Netherlands and France and was strongly attracted thereto. Partly due to Anne's influence, James also converted to Catholicism, which ultimately led to the Glorious Revolution. She suffered from advanced breast cancer and died shortly after giving birth to her last child. Anne was not popular at court, although she was well liked by her brother-in-law. Regarded as the most unguarded ogler of his time, James had a succession of mistresses throughout their marriage. These mistresses included Arabella Churchill, mother of his illegitimate son, the Duke of Berwick. Berwick had a highly successful career in the French army, while James secured a series of positions for Arabella's brother, John Churchill. And was not oblivious to her husband's infidelities, Pepys recording that she was jealous and chided James. Pepys also claimed, however, that the pair were notorious for showing their affections publicly, kissing and leaning on each other. In another entry, Pepys wrote that when James fell in love with Lady Chesterfield, and complained to Charles so insistently that Lady Chesterfield had to retreat to the countryside, where she remained until she died. Historian John Callow claims Anne made the greatest single impact in the process that led to James becoming a Catholic. Raised in the Anglican High Church tradition, which was closely linked to the forms and practices of Catholicism, Anne stopped attending Anglican service in 1669. James converted around the same time, but at Charles's request delayed the announcement of his conversion until 1673. Although he later converted to Catholicism on his deathbed, Charles insisted for political reasons that his brother's children must be raised as Protestants, so both Mary and Anne were members of the Church of England. Anne was ill for 15 months after the birth of her youngest son, Edgar. She bore Henrietta in 1669 and Catherine in 1671, never recovering from Catherine's birth. Ill with breast cancer, she died on March 31, 1671. On her deathbed, her brothers Henry and Lawrence tried to bring an Anglican priest to give her communion, but Anne refused and she received viaticum of the Catholic Church. 2 days after her death, her embalmed body was interred in the vault of Mary, Queen of Scots, at Westminster Abbey's Henry VII Chapel. In June 1671, Anne's only surviving son Edgar died of natural causes, followed by Catherine in December, leaving Mary and Anne as the Duke of York's heirs. After Anne Hyde's death, a portrait of her painted by Willem Wissing was commissioned by the future Mary II. This used to hang above the door of the Queen's drawing room of the Garden House at Windsor Castle. 2 years after the death of his first wife, James married a Catholic princess, Mary of Modena. Mary bore James Francis Edward, James's only son to survive to adulthood. James became King of England, Ireland and Scotland in 1685, but was deposed during the Glorious Revolution of 1688. The throne was then offered by the Parliament of England to Anne's eldest daughter Mary and her husband William III of Orange. After Mary died in 1694 and William in 1702, Anne Hyde's only surviving child and became Queen of the Three Kingdoms and, in 1707, the first sovereign of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Thanks for watching HerStory channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel.